One common habit we all have is taking leftovers out of the fridge and tossing them into the microwave for a quick reheat. It's fast, it's convenient, but is it actually safe? The honest answer, for certain foods, it's not just unhealthy, it can be downright dangerous. We're talking increased risk of cancer, digestive issues, and even brain damage. In today's video, we'll explore 5 everyday foods that doctors and nutritionists strongly warn against reheating, because under certain conditions, they can become toxic. Yes, foods you've always thought were wholesome, but science now shows that reheating them can create harmful compounds linked to serious long-term health risks. So stick around until the end, not only to find out which foods to avoid reheating, but also to understand the why behind it. With real scientific evidence, you'll be able to make smarter choices in the kitchen, protect your health, and keep your body energized each day. Before we begin, I'd truly appreciate it if you could hit the like button. It helps us continue sharing these valuable lessons for healthy aging. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, don't forget to click subscribe and turn on the bell icon so you won't miss the next video. Every like, share, or subscribe means the world to our Light of Wise Elders team. And if you find this content helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, feel free to type 0 show. Your feedback helps us do better. Now, let's dive in. The first food on our list today may surprise you. Potatoes. Potatoes, that humble comfort food loved around the world. Affordable, versatile, and addictively satisfying. From creamy mashed potatoes to herb-roasted wedges or simple boiled potatoes paired with stew, they're a staple on countless dinner tables. But hidden beneath this familiar favorite is a little-known risk. Cooking potatoes, storing them, and then reheating them. Something most of us do can be a recipe for danger if not handled properly. Here's why. When potatoes are first cooked, their starch softens and becomes easier to digest. But once they cool, especially if left out at room temperature or stored too long in the fridge, the starch begins to change through a process called retrogradation, turning into something called resistant starch. Now, in small amounts, resistant starch can actually benefit gut health. It acts like fertilizer for the good bacteria in your digestive tract. But here's where it gets tricky. If you reheat those potatoes using high heat like in a microwave or unevenly, they can become breeding grounds for dangerous bacteria. One of the worst offenders, Clostridium botulinum. The bacteria that causes botulism, a highly dangerous form of food poisoning. The risk rises even more if you wrapped your cooked potatoes in foil, left them to cool slowly on the counter, then put them in the fridge. That airtight foil environment is ideal for this bacteria to grow. And the truly scary part, the toxin from this bacteria is invisible. No smell, no taste, no color. You wouldn't even know it's there, but a tiny amount could trigger nausea, dizziness, or even serious nerve damage in extreme cases. For older adults, this risk becomes even more serious. As we age, our immune systems and digestion slow down, making it harder to fight off toxins. Worse, modern science has uncovered a powerful connection between the gut and the brain, known as the gut-brain axis. When the gut is chronically inflamed due to toxins or bad bacteria, that inflammation can spread, affecting cognition. Research published in Frontiers in Neuroscience shows that long-term gut inflammation may raise the risk of neurological disorders like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Now imagine this scenario. You roast a batch of potatoes on Sunday night, wrap them in foil, let them cool, then pop them into the fridge. On Tuesday, you reheat one in the microwave for lunch. Seems harmless, right? But if that potato cooled too slowly or wasn't reheated evenly, you could be ingesting small amounts of toxins each time, slowly building up in your system without you even realizing. So how can you lower the risk? Cook only what you'll eat, avoid too many leftovers. If you must store them, let them cool quickly and keep them in airtight containers, no foil. Reheat on the stove or in the oven to ensure even heating. Skip the microwave. Never reheat the same potatoes more than once. If they've been in the fridge for more than 2 days or smell off, just toss them. Potatoes are still a nutritious and delicious food when prepared and stored correctly. For older adults aiming to preserve memory, clarity, and vitality, even something as simple as how you store your potatoes can make a big difference on the journey to lasting health. Our second food on the list is often hailed as a superfood, and for good reason. Spinach. It's a kitchen staple in so many homes, versatile, vibrant, and packed with nutrients. Whether blended into smoothies, stir-fried with other veggies, cooked in soup, or tossed into salads, spinach is often the go-to for anyone aiming to eat clean and stay healthy. Rich in vitamins A, C, K, iron, and antioxidants, it seems like the perfect food. But here's the catch. and it's something very few people are aware of. Reheating cooked spinach, especially after it's been left overnight, can be harmful. Why? Because spinach naturally contains high levels of nitrates. In its fresh state, these compounds are completely harmless. In fact, they can help improve blood flow, reduce blood pressure, and support exercise performance. But when cooked spinach is left sitting, whether in the fridge or at room temperature, and then reheated, especially using high heat, those nitrates start to transform. According to research published in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, nitrates can break down into nitrites and then further into nitrosamines, a group of compounds strongly linked to cancer, especially gastrointestinal cancers like stomach and colon cancer. And it doesn't stop there. Newer studies show that nitrosamines may also contribute to nerve damage, memory decline, and even play a role in degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. What's frightening is this transformation is completely silent. No smell, no taste, no visible warning. That's why experts call this a silent risk. And the danger is especially real for older adults whose bodies are less efficient at detoxifying and repairing cellular damage. What might seem harmless at 30 or 40 could become a real threat by the time you're 60 or older, especially for the brain and nervous system. Let's walk through a familiar example. You cook a pot of spinach soup on Sunday, planning to eat it throughout the week. On Tuesday, you microwave a bowl for lunch. It tastes fine, smells normal. But inside, those harmless nitrates may have already morphed into toxic compounds. And if you repeat this habit week after week, month after month, your body silently accumulates these toxins, potentially setting the stage for long-term health issues. So what's the solution? It's not about avoiding spinach entirely. In fact, eating it fresh is still one of the healthiest choices you can make. But it's time to rethink how you prepare and store it. Prioritize eating spinach raw or freshly cooked. If already cooked, eat it cold in salads or as a chilled soup. If you must reheat it, use low, gentle heat on the stove, never a microwave. Don't reheat spinach multiple times. And always store cooked spinach properly in the fridge and finish it within 1 to 2 days. Knowledge is power. When you realize that even the smallest habits in the kitchen can impact your long-term well-being, you start to make more intentional choices to protect your body and keep your mind clear. If you're still watching this video and finding it helpful, drop a 1 in the comments. Let me know you're still here, walking this journey with me. Next up, food number 3. Eggs, a classic symbol of breakfast. Quick, versatile, and packed with nutrition. Whether scrambled, boiled, baked, or turned into an omelet, eggs are a go-to for millions, thanks to their high-quality protein and brain-boosting nutrients like choline. But there's a common habit that many of us fall into, and it may be turning this nutritious food into a hidden health hazard. Reheating eggs after they've already been cooked, especially in the microwave or at high heat. Here's what happens. When you cook an egg, its proteins go through a process called denaturation. Basically, they unravel and become easier for your body to absorb. But when you reheat them, particularly at high, uneven temperatures, those same proteins change structure again. This time, in a way that's harder for your body to digest. 2 main problems arise. First, sulfur. Eggs naturally contain sulfur compounds. When reheated, they break down further, causing that familiar eggy smell and rubbery texture. Annoying, but not necessarily dangerous. But the second problem, that's where things get serious. Inside the yolk is cholesterol. When it's reheated, especially at high temperatures, this cholesterol can oxidize, creating compounds known as oxysterols. Studies in the Journal of Lipid Research link oxysterols to chronic inflammation and an increased risk of heart disease. And here's the deeper concern. Chronic inflammation doesn't always cause pain. It doesn't scream for attention, but it chips away at your health quietly and consistently. Research in Nature Reviews Neurology points out that inflammation is a key driver behind cognitive decline, memory issues, and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. And as we age, our bodies process fats less efficiently. Our arteries stiffen. Our brains become more vulnerable to inflammation, which means something as small as reheating your morning eggs the wrong way could over time leave lasting effects. Imagine this. You boil a batch of eggs on Sunday, planning ahead for the week. By Wednesday, you pop one in the microwave to warm it up a little. It seems like a healthy, convenient choice, high in protein, easy to prep. But what you can't see is this. The protein has toughened, the cholesterol may have oxidized, and the compounds that now exist in that egg may be quietly contributing to inflammation in your body and brain meal after meal, day after day. So how do you enjoy eggs without the hidden risk? Eat them fresh right after cooking. If prepping ahead, eat cold in salad, sandwiches, or as a grab-and-go snack. If you must reheat, use low gentle heat on the stove, not the microwave. Don't reheat them repeatedly. And if an egg smells odd, looks strange, or has been sitting in the fridge too long, just let it go. Eggs are still a nutritional powerhouse when treated with care. The way you store and handle them can make all the difference, not just for your heart, but also your energy, your focus, and your long-term brain health. Never underestimate the little things. That quick morning routine, boiling eggs on Sunday, refrigerating, and reheating later, might feel efficient. But if you truly want to age with strength and clarity, this might be one of the habits worth rethinking, because your body deserves the best. And sometimes the first step is in how you eat breakfast. Now we've reached food number 4. And if you love earthy, savory dishes, this one might surprise you. Mushrooms. They're true superfoods, naturally rich in antioxidants, fiber, B vitamins, and immune-boosting compounds like beta-glucan. With their meaty texture and subtle sweetness, mushrooms add depth to almost any dish, from stir-fries to soups, omelets to roasts. But here's what most people don't realize. Mushrooms are incredibly sensitive to how they're reheated. And the effects aren't just on flavor or texture, but on how your body responds after eating them. Unlike many vegetables, mushrooms contain a delicate blend of proteins, enzymes, and fats that break down in a controlled way when freshly cooked, releasing flavor and making nutrients easier to absorb. But when you reheat them, especially multiple times or at high heat, like in a microwave, that delicate structure starts to fall apart. Proteins and enzymes break down into harder-to-digest forms. For older adults, this can mean feeling sluggish, bloated, or heavy after a meal, all because your digestive system isn't as adaptable as it once was. And digestion isn't the only concern. If mushrooms are stored improperly, like in plastic containers where moisture builds up, or reheated unevenly, oxidation can kick in. This chemical reaction creates compounds that contribute to oxidative stress in your body. Now, oxidative stress might sound abstract, but its effects are anything but. It quietly damages cells. It fuels inflammation. It speeds up aging. And it raises your risk for chronic diseases, from heart conditions to dementia. Research shows that reheated foods, especially delicate ones like mushrooms, can generate stress that burdens the immune system and slows the body's natural repair process. Picture this. You make a beautiful mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with cremini or oyster mushrooms, perfectly seasoned. You save the leftovers in the fridge. Next day, you reheat them in the microwave for lunch. But what comes out isn't quite the same. The mushrooms feel rubbery, a bit slimy. The flavor is off. That strange texture and taste. It's not just a culinary flaw. It's a sign the mushrooms have chemically changed, and those changes may make them harder for your body to process, while slowly adding to your system's inflammatory load. So what can you do? Store cooked mushrooms in airtight glass containers. Avoid moisture buildup. Reheat gently on the stove or in the oven. Skip the microwave. Better yet, eat them fresh, or if leftover, serve them cold, tossed into salads with olive oil, lemon, or fresh herbs. Cook only what you'll finish. Avoid large leftovers. And the bigger takeaway? Sometimes the smallest adjustments in how you cook and store food can create powerful long-term benefits for your health. Avoiding reheated mushrooms may seem like a minor detail, but for your digestion, your immunity, and your energy, it can be the difference between fatigue and vitality. When you lighten the hidden burdens on your body, you feel it in your mood, your clarity, and how you move through each day. All from one simple change in how you treat the food on your plate. And now, the final food on our list. Perhaps the most surprising of all, chicken. A household staple in almost every family. It's easy to cook affordable, high in lean protein, and it fits into nearly every diet, from fitness to weight loss. Roasted, boiled, grilled, pan-fried chicken is the kind of meal you often prepare in large batches, storing leftovers in the fridge to reheat throughout the week. It feels efficient, practical, even smart. But here's what most people don't realize. Reheating chicken, especially in the microwave or at high temperatures, can make it harder to digest, less nutritious, and even a hidden source of inflammation. When you cook chicken the first time, the protein structure changes, making it easier to absorb. But when you reheat it, particularly using uneven or intense heat, that same protein structure changes again, becoming tougher, more rubbery, and more difficult for your body to break down. For younger people with strong digestion, this might just mean a bit of bloating. But for older adults with slower enzyme production and reduced stomach acid, it can become a real burden. You may feel discomfort after eating, a heavy stomach, low energy, maybe a foggy head, and never suspect that the culprit is that simple piece of reheated chicken. But it goes deeper. Beyond just indigestion, The real danger lies in what happens at the cellular level. Repeatedly reheating chicken at high heat can lead to the formation of compounds called age's advanced glycation end products. These compounds are pro-inflammatory. And inflammation, especially the kind that simmers quietly for years, is at the root of many chronic conditions. Heart disease, metabolic disorders, diabetes, and even cognitive decline. You don't need to feel pain to be inflamed. Sometimes it's the slow drain of vitality, the brain fog, the creeping fatigue that no one can explain. And it might start with something as simple as how you treat your leftovers. Imagine this. You grill several pieces of chicken breast on Sunday, store them in containers, and reheat one for lunch on Tuesday. It feels a bit tougher, the flavor slightly off, but you eat it anyway. It's still good, right? What you don't see is the subtle damage. The protein has denatured further. It's harder for your body to digest, and the compounds it now contains may be adding to the low-grade inflammation you've been carrying around without knowing. So how do we protect ourselves? Reheat chicken gently using low heat on the stovetop or in the oven. Better yet, use cooked chicken in cold dishes like salads, wraps, or sandwiches. If possible, cook fresh portions instead of storing large batches. And never reheat the same piece more than once. Sometimes what seems harmless is what requires the most attention. Because long-term health isn't built on grand gestures. It's built on small, quiet decisions made every day. So if you're still watching this video and you've found these insights helpful, leave a 3 in the comments to let me know you're still here, learning and growing with me. And before we wrap up, take a moment to reflect. What surprised you most? Maybe it was the hidden danger in reheated spinach, or the quiet risk behind your favorite mashed potatoes, or how one simple boiled egg microwaved midweek could affect your memory over time. Whatever it was, I hope you carry it with you into your everyday kitchen life. Because your health deserves that kind of care. From the tiniest actions to the biggest choices, they all add up. So tell me, what was your biggest takeaway from today's video? What's one change you'll make in your kitchen this week? If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone you love, and don't forget to subscribe. That way we can keep bringing you more meaningful lessons on how to live well no matter your age. Thank you for staying with us at the Light of Wise Elders. We'll see you in the next video.